So I am doing a video on motion blocks today, and Scratch 3.0 is the latest version of Scratch. Okay, it was released on January 2nd, and it has a bunch of cool new features. It looks a bit different, but all in all, it's actually pretty similar to Scratch 2.0, and I actually think it's a lot better, and it's really cool. So yeah, let's go to Scratch 3.0 editor right now. And today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about the basics of the motion blocks, right? Motion blocks are all the blocks that make your sprite move. And in case you're wondering what a sprite is your character. In this case, we're going to be using the iconic cat of Scratch. So let's go to events, okay, to start our program. And we're going to be using this event block, okay? So all of these events I'm going to cover in a video later, but an event block is about all of these, actually, not necessarily these two. An event block, all of these are beginning blocks of your program. So your beginning block starts your program, of course. So this is when the flag is pressed, because when your user, once you share your project to the Scratch community, when your user wants to watch your animation or play your game, he will click the go flag, and then when the flag is clicked, it executes or operates your program, right? So then the space key pressed, or any of the given ones pressed, or B key pressed, or whatever, executes the program when the guy clicks the given key, right? And then when the sprite clicked, when you click the character, and everything else explains itself, except for this, which I'll be covering in the backdrop video. Let's go to motion block. And first we're going to look at the move this many steps block, right? And let's plug it in to when flag clicked, right? So move this many steps block tells your character to move this way this many steps, right? So I'm going to make it, I can change it to 1 step, I can change it to 100 steps, I can change it to any amount of steps. So I can change any of these circle, any amount of steps, right? So let's take a look at the move. Let's use 10 steps, right? So what it's telling the cat to do is, when the flag is clicked, do this, right? Or in this case, when the flag is clicked, move right 10 steps. So let's check this out. Flag. See, watch the cat. He moved 10 steps. Now what if I made this 20 steps? Okay, let's see. He moved 20 steps. See, kind of notice the difference? So, right. Now what if I wanted to move him backwards 20 steps? Then I go to the beginning of my number, right, over here, and I add a simple minus sign or negative sign, right? So that's a little dash, right? That's your negative sign. So the negative sign means to go negative this many steps, or backwards this many steps. So now watch, if I click the flag, ta-da! See, he moved backwards instead of forwards. Because of that, just the old negative sign. So let's move him back to the beginning. Drag him here, right? And let's move this back to the trash. Now we're going to be talking about the turn x many or this many degrees block, right? Now since we're going to turn, I don't want him going out of the screen. So let's move him to roughly the center, right? That looks good. So if I use this, then it says turn this way, whichever way the arrow is pointing. So if you see the arrow, it says to turn this way, this many degrees. So this is a 15 degree, right? But for fun of showing you and sake of showing you, because personally I find Scratch very fun, so for showing you, I'm going to use 90 degrees. So if you don't know what a 90 degree angle is, it's also known as right angle. And if you look at the corner of a square, that is a 90 degree angle, the angle between the two lines. So let us watch the cat turn this way 90 degrees. Okay, watch the cat. Ta-da, 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 and ta-da. he just made a forward flip, Mr. Stunt Cat. So what if I wanted him to go backwards? Well, let's use the other version of this. So if you see, this block that I'm holding matches with this block, right? But if I want him to go backwards, then use the way that the arrow is pointing the other way, right? And let's change that to 90 as well. Right? What happened here? So watch this. He goes backwards 90 degrees. Ta-da! Mr. Stunt Cat does a backflip. So now that that's done, let's check out random position blocks and glide blocks. Now go to random position explains itself anyway, because it says go to a random position. And if I click this, voila! Voila! The cat has done a Las Vegas show. Magic show. He appears in a random place. But what if I didn't want him to appear in a random place? I wanted him to move to a random place. Well, then I use the glide block, right? So instead of just disappearing over here and appearing over here, he will walk in a sense or glide to a random position, right? So to glide 1 second means it takes him 1 second to go to the random position. See? 1 second. But to glide for any other amount of seconds, like say 5 seconds, right? It'll take him 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then he went to this random position. But what if I didn't want him to go to a completely random position and I wanted him to go to a given place, right? So, have you heard of X and Y before? Well, if you haven't, here's a quick little explanation of X and Y. So, X is, like, this is your X and Y of cat. So, an X is, imagine a large plus covering the entire place. So, a large plus. So, the one that goes across over here would be the X, okay? And the place that, and the center of the plus is 0. The left of the plus is the negative area, and the right of the plus is the positive area. So, and right now his plus, his X right now is negative all the way over here, right? So it's negative 175. And Y is kind of the opposite of X. So imagine that plus again. Y is the up and down. Down is negative and up is positive, or without negative. So let's move our cat to a given place, right? So let's change him to, I don't know, let's make him go to X 120 and Y 12, right? And watch this, he's going to go to that singular place. See? He went to Y X 120. This is your coordinates of the cat. X is 120 and Y is 12. Now if I did that again, he won't go anywhere because of course he's already there. Let's move him to the center. Now he's doing disappearing and appearing again. What if I didn't want him to do that? Well, then I use the glide to this place. Right, so let's do, I don't know, 123 or 124 and 12. Okay. So then, watch this. Let's connect this. Ta-da! He went all the way there again. And this time, he walked. I didn't just disappear, appear. So now that we've got that done with, let's check out the point in direction blocks. So, point in direction means point towards right, means point towards 90 degrees. Point towards down means point to 180 degrees. Point towards left means point to negative 90 degrees. And point up means point to 0. So let's make him point to 0. Ta-da! Let's make him point to right. Voila! Let's make him point to down. Voila! And let's make him right again. So now that we've got that done, let's check out the point towards mouse pointer block. Right? So the reason it says mouse pointer is because some people call your little thing, this arrow over here, the mouse, and some people call it the pointer. So if I do that, he would look at the pointer. So watch this. So let me select the flag. See? Wherever the flag is, he is, right? So right now, of course, the mouse is always here, and so in order to make that last forever, we're going to talk about that in a different video. But really quick, let's go to control, and it says forever. Do this. So repeat this, whatever it says inside, forever. So now let's do that. See? Now I'm going to go in a bit more explanation on these kind of blocks in a much different video. Okay, like maybe on the one that talks about control and events. So now that that's done, let's go back to our motion blocks and let's make him point towards 90. And let's remove this. There, now he's straight again. So now, what if I wanted to make a subtle change to where he's facing, right? Then I will talk about change X by this, right? But this is basically exactly what this is, right? Because he's changing X by positive 10. So watch this. It's basically another way of saying move 10 steps. Watch the cat. Watch the cat. And let's do that. Let's move 10 steps. Watch the cat. Watch the cat. Huh. So same way. Let's go back down here. Well, if that's the case, then there must be a Y for that, right? And if you remember, the Y is up and down. Then this will make him go up 10. But of course, there's no predefined jump block, right? So now you have it. Ta-da! He's on an elevator. So now that we've got that done, what does set X or set Y do? Well, just like we did the glide or go to X and Y, right? We can just say go to this, right? So if you remember, X is the sideways. So if I do this, right now X is already negative 10. But what if I made his X 125? He's going to go to X is negative 10, right? But his Y stayed 25. We didn't change his Y. We didn't change how high he was, right? Same way, if I did set Y to, I don't know, 50, right? Then he would still be on X negative 10. He'd just be up, right? See? He's still on X negative 10. So now we have our pretty self-explanatory set if on edge bounce, right? So this means that if he's on the edge, bounce. So let's just do this so that if we keep moving 10 steps because he's not on the edge. So watch this. Watch what happens when he's on the edge. Ta-da! He bounced. See, he flipped up that sound just like a ball would. Now, of course, we can change that. We can make him go left and right. But in order to do that, we have to do this. Set rotation style, left, right. Ta-da! See? Now, of course, we can change that even further. But, of course, we're going to do that in a different video. So, yeah, that has covered all of our basic motion blocks. Now, these three you're probably wondering about, why didn't I cover those? Well, let me tell you, those actually come in use in different blocks. So, when I get on to one of these more advanced blocks, I'm going to tell you about those. So, thank you very much for watching my video. Be on the lookout for new projects by Angry Bird 7, no capitals. And thank you very much for watching. And have a good day. Or good night, depending on what time it is.